Tucker Carlson has been taking a victory lap. He's clever. He's cynical. This isn't a hypocrisy point, actually. This is a raw fact we need to argue and center point. This guy is the main anchor on what is functionally state media. And I'm telling you, it's true. Like, I haven't watched a lot of actual state media, but I remember like seeing state media in a place like Turkey, and it visually and stylistically cues Fox News. This is not a defense. I generally think most cable news is trash, okay? Fox News is in a distinct reality, and the Jane Mayer report was not something just to shrug off, because she filled in the dots on even a distinction between a far-right biased network versus an actual systemic pounding of not only a specific for a political party, but at this point essentially an individual, a head of state. Tucker Carlson is the main anchor on the network that does that. And whatever, he toys around with leaving right-wing orthodoxy, and he's either doing it to directly, almost more than wink, to the worst forces in our society, who are also incidentally close with the White House, and of course I mean the white nationalist crowd, or to do the economic populism thing with no substantive follow-through. And if you believe him on the foreign policy stuff, where are all the blocks demanding that Trump stop interfering in Venezuela? And incidentally, where we're at it, what about Tucker on the Iran deal? I thought Tucker was fact-based and opposed unnecessary and stupid wars. Well, pulling out of the Iran deal is the most dangerous and dumb thing that's been done on that level in the last couple of years. So, sure, screw CNN, but bear in mind that you're watching the primetime anchor of a arch propaganda functionally state television network saying this.
We have no idea what they've been showing over on CNN for the past 4 hours. We had to turn it off at 4 p.m. But if we had to guess, healthcare. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting word from our... Okay, we have a news alert now. According to our producers who are monitoring the situation, both CNN and MSNBC are talking about, that's right, healthcare right now. Healthcare. Pelosi's orders. What does that tell you? It tells you where your news comes from. Democratic officials pick the topic and the storyline. Their servants in cable news dutifully repeat it to the word all day long. CNN is not a news outlet. It's a super PAC. It is running unregulated campaign ads 24 hours a day. Someone ought to call the FEC about it.
First of all, even on CNN, which does plenty of anti-Trump coverage, they also constantly have on far-right extreme pundits and hire former Trump officials. That's number one. Secondly, I get the point he's making. He's trying to do, we just had this Russia debacle, which, frankly, I agree it was a debacle more than some people. I also think you're radically overstating your case, and if you're so confident, why aren't you telling Mitch McConnell to release the full report? But that being said, I agreed. I actually agreed with you. I was like, yeah, all of this endless speculation and at some points just straight up fantasy about Russia is distracting from, stories like the Trump administration embracing a lawsuit with no legal basis whose singular attempt is to cause premature deaths of thousands of Americans and kick $20 million off of their health insurance. I'm glad. This should be a celebration that MSNBC and CNN are actually finally talking about something like healthcare. Oh, and incidentally, isn't this the same network that, putting aside how much I just don't, I agree, who cares? But isn't this the same network that actually literally sat on the Stormy Daniels story during the election cycle purely because it could hurt a presidential candidate? Maybe the FEC should look at that.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck out of here.
I generally agree with the media critique of the Russia story, but I will say What Fox News does every single night does more damage to this country than I think David Corn or Rachel Maddow has.
I'm going to say, and I say that as a vehement critic of a David Corn and a Rachel Maddow, but you know what? Yes, that is a truism.